manual mode. Oh, this thing just, it rips. It definitely rips. See if we can get a little drift here. Kind of. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we are going to be going over an insane Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to Tron for giving me some time with their Wrangler 392. I'm going to include a link to their website in the description down below. This is also going to be at the auto show here in Utah over the weekend, so if you want to go see it in person, then also my Raptor as well, they're both going to be there. So like I said, check out their website and go check the Wrangler at the auto show. Let's get into the review. So first off, we have these aftermarket hood pins. All you need to know is you press this little thing here at the end, and that allows you to push it through, basically, here, this little entryway. And then this is supposed to go in the middle here to kind of hold it all down for extra security. So it's a little bit more complicated than what you have with the regular Wrangler. But, I mean, it looks cool. Other than that, the hood itself feels kind of hefty. It feels like it's almost heavier than stock, and woo, whoa. First off, we have to talk about what is powering this crazy Wrangler. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 6.4 liter Hemi V8, goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It's good for 470 horsepower and then 470 pound-feet of torque. We have the Hydro Guide, which is a cool part of the Rubicon 392s. And yeah, I mean, it's just crazy they stuffed this engine under the hood, and this is like the perfect engine for a Wrangler that looks this insane. Okay, well, now that I've got the whole hood prop situation figured out, let's talk about the exterior. So this has a wrap that is super interesting. You guys can see the texture on it. So it's like army green, but it has this texture that makes it look like old school paint. And it definitely adds to the kind of off-roader type look with this particular one. And then again, we've got the 392 badge right there. We already mentioned the hood pins. This does have aftermarket turn signals here off to the side. Now the headlights themselves are still stock, but they are planning on changing those out to an aftermarket unit to make it look a little bit crazier. We've got the light bar here on the front, which adds to the aggression, and it just like perfectly fits with this front bumper. And as you guys can see, we have this insane front bumper. I mean, it just makes it look super aggressive. Obviously, it gives it the angry Jeep eyes, and you guys can see in here, it looks like you could definitely fit a winch in there, and there's all the places for it. So maybe they're going to add a winch to this in the future. We've got the tow hooks here on the front end, and it's cool how you can kind of see the front suspension with the solid front axle and everything. Definitely a cool sight to see. But yeah, like I said, I think this is just looks so amazing, and it's just super aggressive. Now, coming around the side here, we have 18-inch wheels, and wrapped around them we have 38s, and let me tell you, they look just incredible. I believe they're 13.5 in terms of the width, which you guys can see. We've got some wide boys here. So my Raptor has 37s from the factory, and they look like hockey pucks compared to the mud tires that this has. And again, with the 18-inch wheels, they look fantastic. You can see it's got the fuel wheels. I love how it's black on the outside and then the bronze on the interior. Again, it really matches with the theme of the 392, because again, all the logos on the 392 are bronze. And then obviously we can see the Fox shocks from Jeep, so that has still been kept the same. And then we have the aftermarket fender flares that have been added. I love the bolts on these, which looks really good, and you can kind of see the green there underneath, and again adds the aggression. You can see the negative offset too with that, and you guys will understand why there's a bunch of mud on this in a little bit. So we had some fun with it today. I already showed you guys a full side view, but here's another look so you can see everything here from the side. And just to give you guys an idea in terms of the height, this is as tall as a Raptor with 37s. Like, again, I had my Raptor sitting next to it in my vlog video, and you guys can probably see like the height is pretty much identical between them. So this thing's huge. It really is. And then you can see here with the rear setup, and you can see here with, again, with the aftermarket fender flare, the rear definitely pops out quite a bit more because the fender flare doesn't pop out as much, and I love it. I just, look at that. I love the aggressive stance with this. Tron absolutely nailed it with this build. Now some other stuff is obviously we've got the fuel packs, because it's a 392, so it's not going to get that good of range. So when you're taking it off-road, you're going to want to carry some extra fuel, and it's built in to the windows here in the back, which is super cool. It's on either side, and so yeah, fill these up and that'll give you a little bit of extra off-roading range. Love how the fuel cap matches on top of that. We've got lights here at the top, as you guys can see, all around. So you got this like 360 lighting situation, and you guys can see here more rigid pods there in the center. And so you guys know rigid definitely best in business for lights, but yeah, definitely helps out with illuminating everything. And then here with the spare tire on the back, they did have to do quite a bit of reinforcing to make it so they could fit the 18-inch wheel and then the 38 here on the back. I think it said 37 by accident. I meant 38. Anyways, yeah, so they did have to do some reinforcing. As you guys can see, like this whole setup is super robust, so it can handle the extra weight. And well, you know what? I'm gonna look really stupid because I'm just doing this video on the fly. This is just kind of like the initial introduction for this 392. I don't know what this is for, but it looks, I don't know, it looks hardcore. And it gives it, again, it gives it this like hardcore off-roader type look. And then you guys can see here with the 392 exhaust, you guys will hear the exhaust a little bit later, but apparently that's gonna be changing pretty soon. They're gonna do like a straight pipe situation or something, and also you can see the shock there in the back, which looks cool. So apparently it's gonna get even louder than what it already is. Now I wanted to pop to the interior, even though nothing has really been changed with the interior, just to kind of show you guys. So first off, you can see again the bronze matches the accents here on the outside, and you guys can see here with the seats and all that. Again, they have the bronze stitching that all matches here. Got the rubber floor mats and all that kind of stuff. But so you guys can see with the wrap, so this was originally black, and you can see with the wrap tucking in, you don't really notice it all that much. Like when you have it closed, it just pretty much looks like a shadow, and then when you have it open, right, you can see it, but it's not really prominent. There's like a lot of black happening already, so it looks really good. Now here's the door panel at the front. Again, you guys can see the padding and then all of the stitching, and then here for the front seat, Rubicon 392, and yeah, just the overall look of it's amazing. You've got all of the manual adjustments here, and you guys can see with the pedal layout down below, got our light controls here, and then notice they brought the green to the interior, and again, it looks like, you know, what you'd see at like an old school army Jeep in terms of the paint finish and all that. And yeah, there's what I'm looking for. You pop in. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, buddy. So going over the interior, like I said, the rest of the stuff here is pretty much stock, but it's so cool that this has like adaptive cruise control and, you know, all this safety tech like parking sensors and blind spot monitoring. And again, it's this crazy off-road build, so it's pretty awesome. You got the paddle shifters there on the back, radio controls below them, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, I feel like they didn't really need to change much of the interior because the interior is already really cool. Just the, again, the green accent they did definitely helped out quite a bit. You guys are wondering what the camera view changes. So here's the backup camera. It's unchanged. It looks pretty much just like stock. Front camera, on the other hand, you can see is covered up now. So that is a little bit of a downside with this bumper, is you do lose the front camera ability. But you know what? You can just pretend like you're doing stuff with these lines going all over. I don't know. So I guess that is just a slight downside. But I mean, how many times are you actually going to use the front camera? And so yeah, that's all cool. Still have the heated seats, still have all that fun stuff. And you know, it's just like a loaded Wrangler. So it's got dual zone climate. You have the exhaust setting here for the 392, and there's a difference. Like listen. And then when you open it up, there's definitely a sound difference with it. And then notice we've got all of our auxiliary switches. Some of those are tied into the LED lights. You've got 4 different auxiliary ports you can tie stuff into. And it still has all the regular Rubicon 392 things. You've got the front and rear lockers. You also have the sway bar disconnect as well. And then being a 392, it's 4-wheel drive auto all the time. And then you have the 4-wheel high part time, and then you've got the 4-wheel low that you can go into. There is no 2-wheel drive with the 392s. Love how you have the little old school Jeep right there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's not much that needs to be changed to the interior, but this build overall just looks fantastic. And I like how they matched the interior with the, or rather the exterior with the interior with the, you know, green and the gold accents. Setting off here on the Jeep, and we're doing our first little portion here, which is technically off-road. We got all the parking sensors on, so we gotta turn those off because that's annoying. Oh, this thing sounds so good. Oh, this is fun. Well, Richie is of course a bit taller than me, so we gotta kind of set up the seat a little bit better. But anyways, manual mode. Oh, this thing just, it rips. It definitely rips. See if we can get a little drift here. Kind of. floats all over the place because it's a Jeep. I'm just gonna let you guys listen to this. Oh, that's fun. So yeah, it's interesting how much more this floats compared to a regular Wrangler with the steering and everything. But we're getting on the road here officially. A little bit rough. So we're getting onto the interstate here. Oh man, that little backfire out of the exhaust. I missed the shift there a little bit. Oh man, this sounds absolutely fantastic. Wow. You just can't beat a naturally aspirated 6.4 Hemi. My goodness. And this thing doesn't ride too bad on the highway. It's loud, that's for sure. It's definitely loud. Shift not allowed. Wow. This thing's fun. You know, I reckon this sounds, you know, you don't get the supercharger sound, but this, you hear so much more noise with this because there's not as much sound deadening as the TRX. I feel like this sounds better than the TRX. Oh man, this is an absolute riot. And this is a Wrangler. Fuel low, of course. This is crazy how good this is. So obviously we're gonna have to stop at a gas station, get a little bit of fuel here, because we've got like no range left. But anyways, you know, in terms of how this actually drives, steering floats all over the place just like a Wrangler normally does. I don't feel like you concede much with this build, honestly. It's a little bit louder than a stock Wrangler with the tire noise and everything, and it doesn't feel quite as quick as what this was when it was stock, but it's not, you're not really giving up too much, and this looks so much cooler. And the exhaust, oh man. So yeah, I feel like you get this really cool looking Jeep that's, you know, gonna be more capable off-road because ultimately it's got bigger tires, it's got more ground clearance, and you know, yeah, and you're not really giving up too much from a daily driver perspective. So yeah, if you're looking for a crazy fun Wrangler, this build from Tron, and also this isn't exactly officially for sale, but what Richard told me is, you know, everything's for sale at the right price. So if you're looking for something, just saying. Now let's get some things up for our video on this modified Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Tron for giving me some time with the Jeep. Check their website in the description down below. I will see all of you in the next video.